Welcome back to Snetterton. The sun is still shining here and it's time for race 2 for the Stewart's events Thundersport GP1 including Superstock Thousands. This is Curtis Wright, who certainly closed up. In fact, he's just overtaken Phil Crow in the Thundersport GP1 points overall, courtesy of his second place in race 1. Is Adam Revel, Team Auto Design's machine. Adam Shelton, race 1 winner. We saw earlier on, number 61. Dave Brook has the onboard camera. And well, a few other riders to note as well. Second place on the grid, as I mentioned before. There's a gap there, that's where James Hillier would be. But he was racing here yesterday, and the lights go out. Great start then for Adam Shelton from row 2, like a rocket ship. Number 61 there, centre of your picture, having a look already to go into the lead, but it is Curtis Wright on the BMW that gets the advantage. Now, I understand that Curtis was looking to make some changes from race 1 to race 2 to try and beat this man who's looking to go up the inside of him. Adam Shelton, all that's getting a bit tight through there. One or two riders going wide. That was the Matt Stevenson, the pre-national 1000 winner earlier, that has just gone slightly wide into Montreal. It can go wrong there. Now, the only change Curtis has made, I understand, to his machine between race 1 and 2 to try and get him an advantage is just some fresh rubber, maybe a few tweaks, but we'll find out from him after the race, depending on how he gets on. Adam Shelton there out of the S's. So easy to do there because it's such a slow corner and you've got to get on the power as early as possible. The front end just goes light. As you see there, 161, Stephen Bates just going past Duncan McMillan before they go into the bomb hollow, and Duncan McMillan with that has put his arm up in the air. I hope he's not retiring just because he's been overtaken. But Duncan McMillan obviously got some sort of a problem there with his BMW. Only joking, Duncan. He's going to pull out of the race anyway, so maybe some sort of an issue there for Big Dunk. Further back there is Peter Brand, number 51, rider from Malden on the Brand Brothers Racing, and there's a change for the lead. Nicely done into Ritchie's from Adam Shelton up ahead of Curtis Wright. Something that's well worth pointing out here this year, Thundersport GP using TSL timing solutions. Oh, a rider going, that was Lee Wilson just going wide there, and the riders have the advantage of being able to see their split times, which means that they can find out what parts of the circuit they're going quick on. Dave Brook here we're on board with now. That's Adam Revel just up ahead of him, or it was, but he's managed to go past him. And now what that does, by knowing where you are fast on this circuit, is it means you can concentrate on the areas of the circuit where perhaps you're not quite as quick. So often we see riders that maybe want to find some extra time that are putting effort into parts of the circuit they're already quick at, and then what happens, they just push that bit too far and they end up losing the front end or something along those lines. So the riders really are learning quite a bit this year from this split timing that's being given to us by TSL timing. And out now onto the start-finish straight. Curtis Wright there using the power of his BMW. He was slightly earlier on the power as well, but Adam Shelton again up the inside into Ritchie's. I can't tell you how quick that is unless you've been round there yourself on one of these mean machines. It is so quick into there. You have to be committed to put a move on, and these guys now swapping paintwork. This is like a rewind back to 2014, except now they're on 1000cc machines, whereas last year they were on 600cc machines. And of course, let's not forget, there's a lot of respect between the two riders, but I don't think either rider has quite forgotten what happened at Donington Park at the end of last year, where it all went a bit Pete Tong and the championship was thrown completely up in the air. Adam Shelton sort of getting involved with Curtis Wright into Craner curves and knocking Curtis off, and then ultimately getting disqualified for the move. So it's great to see that they are elbow to elbow again this year, from a neutral perspective anyway. Around Coram curves we go, and so far not a lot to split leader Curtis Wright and Adam Shelton. These guys at the moment, as it stands, are leading their respective championships. That's for the Superstock Thousands for Adam Shelton and the GP1s for Curtis Wright. But Adam Shelton scores points in the GP1 as well, so technically speaking, Adam could go for 2 championships this year. In the pre-nationals at the moment, which is, as we mentioned before, class for riders yet to attain their national licence, it's Peter Brand we saw earlier, number 51 on the sort of turquoise and black machine, that is enduring a battle with Matt Stevenson. They're in about 12th, 13th overall. so keep an eye out for them. In fact, there he is right on cue. Peter Brand, number 51, leading. He's just on the back of Sean Evans there, one of our Derby Phoenix riders racing with us here this weekend. It's Curtis Wright that leads, and he's just put a bit of air in between himself and and Adam Shelton. In fact, that last lap from Curtis Wright, a 1:10.850, is a new lap record in this class. So hats off to Curtis Wright, who's now got the new lap record. This is further back. That's again, we see Sean Evans, this time just going past number 99 Paul Charman from Accrington, who this year is out there racing on an Aprilia RSV4. Not often you see too many of them out in the GP1 class, but just getting used to life on that. It's a bit more powerful than the 600 we're used to seeing Paul on over the years. Out front though, Curtis Wright here, not putting a foot wrong. This is David Brooke. Now Dave not having quite as good run out here as he was earlier, and that's Lee Wilson, who's just got up the inside of him into Richie's corner. And look at that, just as they were getting on the power, Dave Brooke had to shut off, and that has just lost him a couple of tenths. Into Montreal, and now he might catch up again because Lee's late into there. Flick left onto the Chapman straight, and he's got the momentum here to be able to get into the slipstream of Lee Wilson and maybe have a go at him as they go into the S's. Out of Nelson Corner for Curtis Wright as he puts a lap on Gary Hutchinson over into the bomb on. Look at that, now his lead is about 2.5 seconds, Curtis. He's not being troubled now from Adam Shelton. Adam might just have to settle here for the time being with second place. Just wonder if he's struggling with a few setup problems again now, Adam. But either way, Curtis Wright, whatever changes he's made between races 1 and 2, they're the right ones. And it looks like at the moment Curtis could be on for taking 25 points in the class. Further back, by the way, we just see there Shane Pearson in 5th place. We're now on board with Dave Brooke again into Richie's corner. Just here and there, straight on the power. Double apex corner, that Richie's. Then hard on the brakes. There's a back marker to deal with here into Montreal, and he really has to stand the bike up on end in order not to hit the rider up the backside. Oh my word, what's he doing there? And he's on the grass, and it was avoiding Stephen Bates there, who he's trying to put a lap on, and he's lost a place now to Shane Pearson. So Dave Brooke on the grass, and he's now trying to get back past Shane Pearson again down the back straight, but it's not going to work out. So Pearson now is up into 5th place. Dave Brooke has been shoved down to 6th as we head around Nelson and now up towards the bomb hole. So it didn't work out too well for Dave Brooke since he's gone onto the grass. But, well, we're coming to a few circuits where Dave Brooke might just find his way onto the higher steps of the podium. Look out for Rockingham in particular. Dave seems to be very, very strong there. And that'll be coming up in a few rounds' time. We're, of course, at Cadwell Park. That's our next round here at Thundersport GB. Across the line we go there. 30th and 31st of May, by the way. If you fancy going along to watch, it will then be on TV around about a week after. Further back is Michael Neves, number 33. He's in 7th place at the moment. Curtis Rothwell, brother of Reese, is just inside the top 10 ahead of Adam Revel, who's struggling in this race, up ahead of Steve Parsons. Then Dave Hewson, Neil Watson, Pete Brand. Leading the pre-nationals, by the way, is still Peter Brand. That's Michael Neves just getting past Hutchinson, one of the back markers. But this is your race leader, Curtis Wright, number 74, the rider from Stony Stanton. On the Wright Racing BMW, privately ridden. There are rumours that he might not even be able to afford to get himself out of the next round unless he can get a bit of private funding from somewhere, but he is a talent. Adam Shelton also. It just amazes me that these two riders that are able to tackle some of the world's best riders, such as James Hillier, such as Michael Dunlop, TT legends, and yet they can't get the sponsorship required to sometimes compete at every round. But it would be a shame to lose either Curtis or Adam from this battle all season long. Although in this race in particular, it looks like Curtis has got the better of him. This battle, however, has still got plenty of life left in it as we enter the final lap. Shane Pearson just up ahead there of Dave Brooke. We're on board with him now as we break down into Montreal on board the Arconi Racing Kawasaki, and this time Dave Brooke decides to stick to the tarmac. Onto the Bentley straight we go. Interesting that Dave not quite in the slipstream there, although the camera angle I suppose is just slightly over towards the right hand side of the bike. Now then, Curtis Wright, just a few more corners to deal with and it'll be 25 points in the bag for him. A couple of back markers as well, they might just fall at the wrong place. Adam Shelton there in second place. This is still the fight though for 5th and 6th. Shane Pearson, last year's Golden Era Superbike champion, up against the runner-up from the pre-nationals a few years back. There is number 96 Callum O'Shea, and he's just been lapped by Curtis Wright, who goes across the line to win. By the way, that bike of Callum O'Shea's looks in beautiful condition. I'd just like to point that out. In good nick. Curtis Wright, it is that takes the win, ahead of Adam Shelton this time. Shelton wins the Superstock 1000 battle. Craig Neve third, Lee Wilson in fourth, and Shane Pearson it was who stayed ahead of Dave Brooke across the line for 5th place. And there's the top 3 in the GP1 overall quarters of Curtis Wright, Lee Wilson and Michael Neve. Superstocks, Adam Shelton, Craig Neve and Shane Pearson. And in the pre-national thousands, it's Peter Brand, Matt Stevenson and Andrew Stockdale. What do the points look like then heading into Cadwell Park? Well, here you go. Curtis Wright and Adam Shelton have leapfrogged Phil Crow, who's not here this weekend. Dave Brooke is in 4th place overall, and then it's Shane Pearson and Adam Revel. Superstock thousands, Adam Shelton, nice advantage he's got there over Dave Brooke, then Shane Pearson in 3rd. Revel then in 4th place, just 7 ahead of Craig Neve. Stephen Parsons in 6th. And in the pre-national thousands, Michael Mason is with the lead ahead of Jack York, and it's very close between Jonathan Panther and Peter Brand for 3rd place overall. Winner of the pre-national 1000 race, Peter Brand. We're used to seeing your brother on the top step in this class, but it's nice to see you here at Snet.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had a nightmare, like a couple of weeks leading up to this, the bike's not running and missing test days and stuff, so I'm just glad that it's worked at the weekend and actually get some checkered flags for a change.
And have you got anyone to thank at all?
I have, yeah, just friends and family who help me out all the time, and a big thanks as well to Callum O'Shea, because I've got half of his bike in mine at the moment to make it work, so I wouldn't have been on the grid without him, so big thanks to Callum.
Superstock 1000 winner Adam Shelton, not quite the outright win here in race 2, but having looked at your front tyre, it looked like you had 1 or 2 issues there.
Yeah, it was an amazing race, you know. Made some changes to the front end, really confident in a straight line. The braking was absolutely fantastic at the expense of the mid-corner speed, so I was getting a lot of ploughing from the front tyre, so that's the issue there, what you've seen. But overall, fantastic race, fantastic result. Curtis riding really strong, real smooth as always, and dead pleased. So thank you again, everyone who's helped me. Again, struggling for cash. If you want to get on board, give us a call. Brilliant. All right.
Move on to GP1 race winner overall, Curtis Wright. Curtis, you said after race 1 that you were hoping to make some minor changes and then hopefully move on from there. Well, you've just got the new lap record around here. Is it really as simple as a brand new set of tyres that have made the difference?
That is literally all we done. I was tempted to take the traction control completely off, because that's what seemed to be holding me back in the first race. I just couldn't get the drive out the corners, and Adam was just going. So yeah, I was tempted to switch it off. My dad said definitely not. So yeah, we just whacked new tyres on, and yeah, bit our teeth, and I don't know, a great race. I really enjoyed that, and hope for many more like that. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was indeed. Coming up after the break then, join us again for race 2, the pre-national 600s.